Okay. Just as a reminder, I'm going to record this one just so that I can post it in case you need to go back and look at it if you run into any problems. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and let's get going. First of all, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining up. It's a good turnout. I like when most of us are on the call, obviously. So I need everybody to go back to Canvas and head to modules. Okay. And then in modules, we're going to open up Apartheid Image Analysis. Okay, this is our Wednesday e-learning assignment. Like I said yesterday, you got 2 questions. Okay, so you're going to need to open up 2 things here. You're going to need to open up the Google document, okay, which is in the instructions, and that'll look like this, which is the paper that I gave you yesterday and we read through as a class. Okay, we should have that open. And then you need to open up the actual assignment. Okay, load Apartheid Image Analysis in a new window. Go ahead and open up that. And that's what this should look like here. I'll give you 10-15 seconds to allow your Chromebooks to load up those images and stuff. Okay. And I will say, if your images will not load, it's probably because you are on a Google Meet Plus trying to load a couple larger images. So once you get off the Google Meet, then try to reload the assignment if your images like this will not load. So just giving you a heads up. Okay, is anybody having troubles? Okay, I'll take that as we're okay. All right, we're going to first start here. Just a quick recap on what we talked about yesterday. Okay, we're talking about the South African apartheid. Remember, apartheid means separateness. Okay, the first one, the Population Registration Act, that's 1950. Okay, this is kind of like a census, but it's requiring people to go to the government and declare what race they are, right? And I say they, but the government will tell them what race they are. Okay, you basically have to prove your family background. Okay, in the Group Areas Act, okay, now that is when they use the information they collected with the Population Registration Act, and then they will move these people based upon race where to live in South Africa. Okay, and then the Bantu Education Act, that is a law that was put in place to try to keep the 10% white population, in the wealthy category, and everybody else is working class. Okay, and that was designed by the school system in South Africa. Okay, the South African government effectively trying to create a working class out of every other race besides white. Okay. Promotion of Bantu Self-Government Act, that is just a more strict version, okay, of the Group Areas Act. Okay, why I mean more strict? This is when, like, if you were married to someone that was not of the same race, your family is probably going to be split apart. Okay, and then you got to figure out who the kids are going to live with. So it's it's not a forced divorce because you're technically still married, but you live in different parts of the country because of what the government says. Okay, so that's kind of a recap of those 4. Now you're going to use these 4 to complete the assignment. Okay, so here's the instructions. So for each image, you need to figure out what law or act applies to the image. Okay, so you're going to use the reading to do that. Okay, once you figure out the law that applies, then you need to explain with evidence from the reading, okay, why that is. Okay, so a little bit of explanation on how the connection between the law and the image. And then your second sentence should be the significance. Okay, why is it important? What is wrong with what is going on in the image? Okay, that's kind of more of an opinion piece from you. All right, so we're going to do the first image together. and then you're going to do the second image. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to complete this. Okay, so the first thing, this image here, you got a park bench, okay, Europeans and Blanques. Blanques is white, okay. What law or act do you think applies to this image? Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to read through these again if you need to, and then in the chat, tell me which law or act applies best to this image. And I would say there's probably two correct answers. All right, so I'll give you a minute, and then when you think you have your answer, put it in the chat. Or unmute yourself and tell me. I don't care either way. Coop, what won't load? Google Doc. Okay. Well, you can always use my screen. I'll keep this up if you need to. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. You can read it. All right, we've got most of you saying Population Registration Act, some of you saying Group Areas Act. Okay, I think we're on the right track because those are the two that I would say are the possible answers. Okay, so you should either have Population Registration Act or Group Areas. Okay, I don't care which one you do. Okay, I'm going to do Group Areas Act. Okay, simply because you can reference specific things in the image, but you can definitely do the same thing with Population Registration Act because the bench has to do with the race. Okay, the name of the race is on the image, right? Europeans, Blanques, okay, meaning white. All right, but I'm going to do Group Areas Act, but you can certainly do Population Registration Act as well. It is completely up to you. All right, so what I'm going to put in my sentence is this image represents the Group Areas Act of 1950 because, right, and this is the part where you have to provide evidence from the reading. And if we look at the Group Areas Act paragraph, okay, we're looking at specific things that we can mention in our sentence that connects to the image. That's the evidence piece. Okay, so if you just look at the first sentence, this was the act that started physical separation between races, especially in urban areas. Okay, now if you look at the image, is this an urban area? Urban meaning city? Yes or no? Yeah, I agree. Okay, this is a city in the background. Okay, so effectively the Group Areas Act tried to separate races, okay, mainly the white population living in the cities, and then every other race lives outside of the cities, working in the mines, in the fields, things of this sort. Okay, so my explanation will be coming right from here. Separation between races, especially in urban areas. Okay, so I'm going to put because the act separated races, especially in urban areas, like dealing with the background of the image. Okay. Now, that's your first sentence. Then you need to do the second part. Okay. Why is it important? What is wrong with what is going on in the image? So this is more of your opinion. Okay. I'm going to put this image is, I'm going to put immoral, which means it goes against your values, goes against what you believe in. Okay. Because all people should be able to enjoy the city, park, and seating, because that has to do with the bench right there. Okay, so public facilities is really what you're talking about here. Okay. That's it. You've answered both pieces of the requirements. You got the evidence, the law, and then why you think it's important. Okay, so that's where we should be at. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this and put it in the chat in case your screens are blurry. So if you need to copy and paste, you can do that. You got to make sure that you understand why. That's the answer. Does anybody have any questions so far? You can either put the question in the chat or you can unmute yourself. It's up to you. Okay, good. All right, if you have no questions, okay, your assignment is to complete the second image, right? You're doing the same thing. You need to identify what act or law applies to the image. Use the paragraph to help you provide evidence on why. And then your second sentence should be about why is it important, or what is wrong with the image. Okay. And then once you're finished, you'll submit, and then you're done for my class for your e-learning assignment. Okay. So I think this class gets over at 10:10, so you still got about 7 minutes. That is enough time to finish up this assignment if you are reading thoroughly and putting together your sentences. Remember to make sure you have punctuation and capitalization for your complete sentences, okay? And make sure you meet the what the instructions are asking for. If you do not have any questions, you are free to go. Please make sure you submit when you are finished. See you, Gracie. Thanks, you too, Alexia.